Friends, today's NRI Samay program from Los Angeles brought to you commercial free by listeners like you. Your generous donations make possible for us to stay commercial free, and today's show is pre-recorded. If you have a question for the guest, please send an email to nrisamay@gmail.com. We will follow up with the guest and find the answer for you. Thank you for your support.
Greetings and welcome to all the listeners of NRI Samay. Today we have not just one, but three incredible guests and adventurers, travel enthusiasts on NRI Samay who are planning on a world tour. Maybe I should say the Great Indian World Trip by recording Indians' lives all across the globe. So please welcome Mr. Tushar Agarwal, Sanjay, Madan and Prasad to NRI Samay. Once again, good evening and welcome to NRI Samay, all three of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There is a saying that if you doesn't travel, you don't learn. So how far your learning has come through your traveling?
Yeah, this is true actually. If we don't travel, we don't learn, because when we travel, Mother Nature is there as a teacher to teach us everything. And we experience everything with all our senses. While inside a room watching TV or reading books, we use few senses. But while traveling, we use all our six senses. May sometimes our sixth sense also start working during traveling and in open. So it's a great learning experience actually. If we travel, we learn more. Yeah, this is Sanjay. And as you were saying, traveling is actually a great learning process. Without traveling, we cannot. It's Mother Nature teaching you everything in open, and when we travel, we experience everything with all our senses, and it comes to the level of realization also. So traveling is a good teaching actually.
Yeah, this is Prasad, and I would like to add to something what Sanjay had said. It's like the people from my generation are so caught up in their own world of their own, which could be a corporate world or their own family life. So just getting out of the house is becoming very difficult for people like me because they're so tied up, they don't get holidays. So I think this traveling is something that really takes your own world and makes you have a different world altogether waiting for you to experience. So why not just, and traveling need not be like a month-long traveling. It can be just a weekend going somewhere outside of your own environment and just seeing how people, not just, nature is a different thing, but how people are living in different circumstances, what kind of cultures are there all around you. I think that's what we want to really learn when it comes to traveling, and that really helped me from an individual point of view.
So do you have anything to say, Mr. Sanjay? Tushar?
Yeah, hi, this is Tushar. No, I absolutely agree with what you're saying, that traveling is a great teacher. I think if nothing else, personally it humbles you down, because when you travel to remote terrains of the world, for example, we've been to Tibet and, remote deserts of Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, you meet people, who are living so happily and they're so content with their lives with very little means and resources at their disposal. But seeing them so happy and satisfied with their lives, makes you realize that, we've got everything in cities where we live, and still it's always a struggle. There's always pressure and stress on our minds. But, seeing these people makes you realize that, you don't really need so many things and amenities and luxuries to actually remain happy in life. It's all really in your mind. If you want to be happy, you can learn to become content and have a good life and a happy life. So for me, it is, the more I travel, the more I realize this, and it helps you sort, priorities of your life.
So I know you people have a common interest, and you've met in this expedition like that. But do you have individual point of view? Since how long you were traveling or doing the self expeditions for yourself?
This is Tushar. Basically, I started traveling at a very young age with my father when we used to go on road trips in the mountains, and I used to be very scared of going in the mountains, and I used to always hide in my mother's lap, looking at valleys and high altitudes. But somehow it was in the blood. So when I started traveling, I lived in US for a year, and I bought a small car and started driving on the freeways. And then I moved to UK, where I explored the country a lot. And that's when I realized that, I'm really happy, always feel very happy when I'm behind the wheel. So I really got into the driving expeditions and traveling when I planned a road trip from London to Delhi in 2010. And that trip went even beyond my expectation. It was fantastic. And once I completed that trip, it was very clear in my mind that this is what I want to do in my life and this is what makes me happy. So I was otherwise a software programmer by profession, but after completing the London-Delhi road trip, I realized that, this is what I want to do with my life and this is what I'm made for. So then I decided to quit my IT career and move back to India, and that's when I met Sanjay, and we decided to, take the plunge and start an adventure travel company and travel for a living if possible. So I think for us it was very important to be happy, and we both realized that we are always happy when we are traveling, and that's how I got into travel.
So I'll get back to you, Sanjay and Prasad. But Tushar, what is your background like?
I come from a business family, and my family is into steel business, but I was not never keen in that, and I found my own way. I started working as a software programmer. And my job took me to different places. I worked in Japan for a year, then I moved to US for 1 year, and then I lived for 7 years in UK. And no, I was traveling as anybody else would travel at that time. I would pick up a car, sometimes go on a road trip with friends, or go on a holiday to some exotic destination in Europe when I was in UK. But it's only when I started driving in UK that I realized that, driving is what really makes me happy, and that's when one fine day, I was sitting in office and just getting bored, and suddenly this idea hit me that, okay, let's look at the route map from London to Delhi. And I just started looking at the map on Google and making an imaginary line that, it was more like a novel idea that, it would be so great if I could drive from London to Delhi, like from where I'm living to my home country. And I started working on it, and the more I worked on it, I realized that, it seems to be possible, and it might be actually something that can be done. So everyone found me crazy and thought that it's not possible, you can't do it. But, I was very, very keen and very passionate about it, and I kept working on it. And then I realized that, it is possible. And then eventually I was lucky enough and very fortunate that I was able to do that journey. So, it was, London to Delhi was a dream. I worked on it for 2 years, and it came true. And then I started dreaming of bigger things, and then I decided that I should quit IT and get into travel, because that's what I want to do with my life. And then I moved back to India after living abroad for 10 years as an NRI in a few countries. And then I moved back home and started traveling, started a travel company, and now that's what we do. We travel for a living.
How about Sanjay? What were your experiences so far from traveling?
Yeah, this is Sanjay. Actually, I started traveling just like all teenagers. First started on bikes, then on cars, roaming around here and there for like every weekend we go for 400 kilometers drive or 500 kilometers drive. Then I realized, and at that time my dream car was actually Land Cruiser. So I always thought of buying a Land Cruiser and go for long expeditions. And the first SUV I bought is Land Cruiser. So after buying that vehicle, this you can say a traveling disease grows more on me, and we started more traveling. We did some cross-border expeditions also. We went to Kailash Mansarovar, Tibet by road from India, and in 2010 we drove a Tata Nano to highest motorable road, which is the smallest smallest passenger vehicle in the world. And after doing these things, I met Prasad, and as Prasad said, we started a company, and now we organize expeditions.
So, what about Mr. Prasad?
Yeah, hi, this is Prasad here. Yeah, even for me, traveling was like when I was like in school and all, it was like a very homely affair that my grandfather used to take me all around India wherever we used to go, because they were kind of travel freaks. So then later on, what happened was I got so tied up with my entire work scenario, because I used to work in broadcast media. I used to work in TV channels. And with the complete haywire schedule happening and shoots happening, And then I was like feeling that something is missing from life. I had a chance to go anywhere but my office and home. So and I was very fascinated with, I mean, since being from broadcast as a means of living, I was very attracted to channels like Nat Geo and Travel and Living and how people do. So I took up jobs which will take me around a little bit. For example, I was working at CNBC as a correspondent. So I used to do lots of feature shows which used to take me all around India. But again, that was very business-like. I used to go around searching for stories which made business sense. There was no human aspect to it. The entire thing was just focused on profits and how much turnover the company has made and the personality of the CEO and what kind of policies he has brought into force. But I really wanted to go around and make stories about people, experiencing what we think they are happy. And it might be just a man having a small dairy farm and making his ends meet with a smile on his face, vis-a-vis a person who's staying in like Bombay and getting stuck in a traffic jam and cursing his fortune. So then you start questioning your preconceived notions, your definition, like what is prosperity, what is happiness.
That's awesome. It's like, as you said, like you always you have chosen like a cause for your expeditions. So it's like these causes just come up to your mind, or is it like you find a cause and then plan the trip?
Basically, it's always nice to attach a cause to the journeys that we do because, when the kind of journeys we have done, for example, we did London-Delhi by road or Sanjay did Tata Nano, and the kind of expeditions and records we've created, they tend to generate media. And for example, you are interviewing us and people will get to know that, okay, these guys are doing the Great Indian World Trip. So I feel like whenever you're doing a journey which is reaching out to a lot of people who will get to know about such journeys, it's always nice to attach a cause and spread awareness for some organization, some welfare organization that is doing some good work and that needs people to know about the work that they are doing. So if through our journey, if our journey can be used as a vehicle to spread awareness for a certain cause, so why not? I mean, we are living our dream, we are doing something, and if just by putting a logo or spreading awareness or just talking a little bit about a certain charity, we can help them in some way, then I think it's something which is even more satisfying than the journey itself. So that is the main reason why we always give a lot of importance to attaching a cause to a journey, because with us, through the media and through social media, which we get a lot when we do these journeys, it ends up helping the cause also. And I think it just nothing can be better than going on your dream journeys and also supporting a welfare organization at the same time.
So it's like from a critic's point of view, can I say that like you have chosen a cause just to attract the people or to get the organizations involved in it? Like as a critic, if what will be the answer or what will be your answer for that?
No, we attach a cause because the kind of cause we always choose is something that is always close to our heart. For example, for the Great Indian World Trip, we have visited a few old age homes in India. Sanjay and I visited a few old age homes in India last week, and the purpose is to choose a charity which is very small, which is doing work at the ground level, which does not have a lot of money and still struggling, but who are actually helping people lead a better life. So we did not go to any big NGOs who already have huge budgets. We visited some very small NGOs who are taking care of really old people who do not have anybody to take care of. These people are picked up from the streets by the police and they are just dropped at the gates of these old age homes, and they spend the rest of their lives being taken care of by strangers and volunteers at these old age homes. But we thought that if we support or attach ourselves to a cause like this, we are anyways going on this journey, right? We're already going to be traveling through 50 countries. Thousands of people will be looking at our journey. Whether we support a cause or not, they will still be reading about the journey. So if we attach this cause to the journey, if a small old age home in some part of Delhi, which nobody is aware of, they will get some level of awareness and some people in different corners of the world will at least get to know that, okay, there is this one small charity in a corner in Delhi which is doing such great and noble work, trying to selflessly help old people at least lead a dignified life. So I think there is no harm in attaching a cause like that to the journey, because the journey is going to happen anyways. And if during the process we end up supporting and spreading awareness for somebody doing such great work, then I think it is something that we would want to do every single time we go on a journey. And the cause is not attached to the journey to help the journey. The cause is attached to the journey to help the cause. So we are hoping that through our journey, this NGO will be able to spread awareness and raise some funding for this NGO, and eventually lead to, in some ways, indirectly contributing towards a better life for the old people living in these old age homes.
That's great. That's great. So it's like, do you often raise funds for for your causes, or is it just the awareness, like where you spread across the places you visit?
No, we always raise funding. For example, when we did the London to Delhi expedition, we supported an animal welfare organization, and we raised a considerable amount of money for them, and the money was transferred to them, and they used that money for improving the conditions of their animal home, and they were very, very grateful and thankful, and we are very grateful and thankful to all the people who supported and donated towards the cause. It is not just about spreading awareness, it is about actually raising funding also, so that we can actually go and contribute something and help the NGO carry on the work that they are doing.
Friends, NRI Samay is a non-profit independent alternate media from Los Angeles, USA, which brings positive stories from grassroots activists from all corners of India and across the world. Among others, we focus on stories of need for equality, inspiration, environment, health, and politics. NRI Samay does not rely on corporate funding, and thus our shows are commercial free. We only rely on your donations. Please consider donating to NRI Samay, and all donations are kept transparent on nrisamay.com.
I see. So it's like I now directly go into the Great Indian World Trip. So can you just like briefly or like explain about what this the Great Indian World Trip is to our listeners?
The Great Indian World Trip is one of the biggest expeditions ever. I mean, we don't know anybody who has driven to 6 continents and driven in 50 countries and drive 70,000 kilometers. Yes, there are a lot of people who do long distance expeditions, but as Indian people, Indian people are not really known for exploring or traveling compared to Europeans or Australians. So we thought that because we have done journeys like epic journeys like driving to Tibet, which Sanjay has done, or London to Delhi, or we have done 5 or 6 several other world record journeys. So we thought that now that we have done all these journeys and have this experience, we thought it's time to do something bigger and better. I think we all feel that you dream of something and your one dream comes true, then you start dreaming of something bigger and better. So we thought, what could be better than actually doing the mother of all road trips and driving all around the world? So that's how the idea of the Great Indian World Trip came into being. That's how the idea of the World Trip came into being. How we coined the term Great Indian World Trip was another story, basically, because, as I said, I have myself been an NRI for 10 years. I've lived in Japan, US, and UK, and I know how an Indian person feels living abroad. When, for example, when there's a Diwali or there's a Holi festival, you miss home, or you see a Bollywood film, you'll miss home, or on Christmas you'll remember your own festivals, or on 4th of July you'll remember 15th August. So there are a lot of things that happen while living abroad, which may in some subtle ways remind you of your own little town in India where you come from, or remind you of your roots. So I used to always miss home a lot, and I thought that it would be fantastic if we can actually connect with the NRIs living all over the world and, see how is life like for Indian people living in different corners of the world. For example, you go to Canada and there's a lot of people from Punjab who drive trucks there. You go to London, you'll see a lot of investment bankers from India. doing extremely well. In US, where you're from, in US, so many Indian people are at the top-notch doctors, or they're working as astronaut in NASA as scientists. And if you go to Africa, you'll see Indian people running small businesses. So in different corners of the world, Indian people are doing different things. In some places, they are doing even better than the locals. In some places, they're still struggling to make ends meet. But I thought it would be very, very interesting to document this journey and see and just weave like a story of focusing on the NRI population living in different corners of the world. And that was my idea when I thought of this. And then Sanjay, who has not traveled much abroad, thought that for him it was completely different, because he could go and actually see how's life like for Indian people outside India. Because so we both had a very different contrast when we came together. I was somebody who had lived abroad for the most of my adult life so far, and he's somebody who's not seen that life at all. So we thought it would be fantastic and a very interesting contrast to go together and explore that life and see the lifestyle of the Indian people. That's how the Great Indian World Trip was,
came into picture. That's really great to know that you will get two different point of views when you travel with a person who have ever seen across. Apart from the India, and you have your preconceived ideas and notions about the people because you have already lived across abroad. But whereas, as you said, if a person who have never visited any country outside India, then it will be different for them too. So it's good luck. And how many people are in this trip, are in this expedition?
Yeah, this is Sanjay. We are total 3, me, Tushar, and Prasad.
Okay. So who will be sponsoring this great expedition for you people? Is it only 3 of you, or is there any as you said, organizations or anything that will be sponsoring your cause?
See, as of now, we have few tie-ups. We have tie-up with a company called Woodland, and one company, Mahindra. The company may sponsor us a vehicle also, but we are still looking for sponsors. But our trip is not dependent on sponsors. We are looking for sponsors who can support this trip, because this trip will go on for 6 to 8 months. We'll be covering all 6 continents in 6 to 8 months, and the trip has a huge budget also. So we are looking for sponsors, and we still have 2-3 months in hand. So hopefully we will get some sponsors on board.
There must be Indians in the cities, or to some extent to towns and where there is some kind of civilization. But you will be facing some kind of some places where you don't, very remote places, I should say. So how are you planning? This whole in that angle?
You mean how do we plan to travel through remote areas? Sorry, I didn't quite understand the question.
Sorry. You'll be traveling across the globe, and you will be coming to some point you'll face some remote areas. You have to cross them in order to go ahead, and most of them will be very new to you. So it's my first question is how are you planning for the accommodation in different cities or in different places in your travel itinerary? And second thing is if you come across the remote areas, how are you planning to accustom yourself to those in those places?
See, there's a saying which I believe in, and I always keep saying it to people, that it's always the unplanned things in your journey that you always remember than the planned things in the journey. So regarding accommodation, food, when you're going as a traveler, not as a tourist, you have to be self-reliant and you have to be very independent. So what we are going to do is we are going to be taking a camp with us, which we're going to put on the roof of the car. We will have a stove with us. We'll have packed food. And when we are going through remote terrains, if we don't find any accommodation, we will just park our car in whatever safe place we can find. We pitch our tent, and we'll sleep in the tent, and we will have enough food to get us through night or the evening, and or at least for a few days. And then whenever we approach civilization, we restock our rations and we carry on. So, we are not going to be staying in hotels every night. We don't want to stay in hotels every night. We want to stay with the Indian population, the NRIs, and if not with them, when you're going to remote terrains, you would like to stay in villages, and if no villages are around, you would pitch our tent, like I said, and we'll stay in our tent. That's what we plan to do. That's how we plan to go ahead. Another thumb rule we have is, normally we don't really drive in the night when we are in an international location. The rule is to start driving early in the morning, keep driving if we have to, but before sunset, we'll park the vehicle at a safe place and spend the night there and then start again in the morning.
I see. But it's like you are planning to document the NRI's lifestyle and their lives across abroad. So how are you planning that? I mean, what are the major areas you are focusing in your documentary?
See, they are spread all over the world now. So the route that we have designed has been keeping in mind the places where there is a huge Indian presence of Indian population. For example, if you're driving through countries like Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, United States, Canada, UK, or Africa, all these places have a huge Indian population, and we are trying to reach out to all the Indian people living in these countries via, social media, via radio, through newspapers, online portals. So we are in the process right now of at least spreading awareness and letting people know that, okay, there is a great Indian world trip that will start soon. And the idea is to connect with the Indian people living in all these different countries. And we are hoping for Indian people in different countries to support us, to contact us, to get in touch with us, and to invite us to come and meet them, and hopefully to maybe spend a couple of days with them. And it's not planned yet. We don't have a day-by-day schedule, but we are hoping to get the support from all the Indian people living in different corners of the world. And the journey will not be a success. The journey will not be as what we have dreamed of if we don't get the support of our citizens or Indian people living in different parts of the world where we are traveling from. We are requesting and hoping and inviting all the listeners and people who are of Indian origin to join us in this journey.
Yeah. So in terms of documentation, as in that what Tushar said is one part of it, the entire the gamut that we'll be covering. But in terms of documentation, what I think we would be doing more is getting stories out of these NRIs. That when you talk of, say, the word NRI for an Indian, it's something to do with prosperity. It's something to do with a guy that in his life. Nobody has ever heard the true voice of NRI. I mean, what are their problems? How do they adapt to a new culture? Aspect of Indian person's life. How are we treating with that? Does an NRI want his daughter to marry a foreigner or simply goes for an Indian husband? These are the issues that you would really like to get into it. And not just the problem bit of it, but if it's like suppose a festival like Diwali, how are people celebrating there? Because if you say Diwali is all about making sweets, there are certain ingredients which you don't get there. So how, these are like small stories when we talk about, but they really make a very big impact because that's what a survivor is. That no matter where you're put, you're really happy there. You try to find your own means and try to adapt your life according to that. But that Indian shop is really what is making other Indians, the entire locality happy. So that becomes a story that nobody would have known this guy sitting somewhere in Japan having a grocery shop where you get food or something very Indian. That's what this whole documentation is going to be, telling of people that listen, NRI is not just about being rich, living in US and having a swanky car. It's much more than that. There's life to it. There are people having their own problems. So hey, this is what the reality is. So that's what the whole documentation is going to be.
That's cool. So the question is now to Tushar. You've already done these. I mean, all three of you have done these kind of trips, not these farther or not these lengthy, but like you have done to some extent, you have done not to some extent, you have really done good number of trips. So, and Tushar, you along with your wife, you have supported a cause like the dogs, and you have traveled from London to Delhi. Can you share your experiences and how it was planned, or anything about that trip, and how it is helping you, how the trip is helping you in this great expedition?
See, London to Delhi road trip was the first journey that I had planned. Before that, I used to do small road trips like everyone does, but that was a really long-standing dream, and I didn't have much driving experience or long-distance driving experience before that. But it was something really that used to keep me awake at night, and I really wanted to do something different in my life. I used to think that what is the biggest achievement of your life? I would ask myself, and couldn't come up with anything. And I was really caught up like most people are in the 9-to-5 job and responsibilities of family, and just a regular usual daily stuff. And I was really not very happy or content with my life, and I wanted to do something very different. And I knew that traveling makes me happy, and I thought, okay, doing a London Delhi road trip would be really, really incredible. So journey was a fantastic journey, and it was a big learning experience because we got to travel through countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and mostly when you read about these places or hear from people, the general idea is that these are unsafe countries in Central Asia and that you should not be visiting them. But I think in my experience, I think everyone is wrong about foreign countries because you haven't been there, you haven't seen the place, you haven't met the people. But you are very quick in forming an opinion about those places. I'll be very honest, we were reluctant about going to these countries because that was the impression given to us. But I'm so happy to say that countries like Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan have become at least my favorite countries on the entire journey, and we felt safer in these countries, even more safe compared to some countries in Europe. People are so nice and so warm in these countries, and they are willing. They are so proud of their own heritage, and they want to share with you. They want to tell you about their country, about their culture. They want to talk to you, and they want to help you. So it was a really great experience. And then from there, driving to countries like China and then to Tibet, which is one of the remotest and most difficult terrains to drive on. It pushes you out of your own comfort zone. It challenges you. It throws so many challenges at you, and then you realize yourself that you are made of tougher stuff than what you thought of. And to deal with situations in which you are thrown in without any help, backup, or support, and the only person who can help you in such situations is you and nobody else. So it definitely makes you a stronger person and makes you realize what your priorities in life are. For example, there are a lot of things we take for granted in our lives, the day-to-day things. And it's only when you are put in a situation where you realize the value of such things. For example, when we were in Tibet, we were driving through really bad roads for 2,000 kilometers throughout the week. And we were doing 100 kilometers or 150 kilometers after driving 12-13 hours. And doing that for 1 week, after that, suddenly a tarmac road, a really silky highway appeared. And just looking at the highway was so special, and it was such an emotional moment that I just got out of my car and I lay on the highway and I had tears in my eyes. And I never thought that a normal, smooth highway could generate such emotions in me. And then I realized, this is something, day in, day out, we drive on such smooth roads, living in the city, but it is only after going through the hardships of driving on extremely bad terrains for 1 week at a stretch that I realized the value of what we have in the cities. And it's these things like these that you realize and start appreciating when you go on these kind of different journeys. And it always helps you, grow as a person also, and you start realizing the worth of little things that you already have, which we take for granted in life. And that's why I said in the beginning also that, traveling makes you a humble person. These are the experiences which help you become a more humble person when you travel.
Tell from where and to where you have traveled with the Tata Nano car, and what is the Limca book of records you have got for the on your name?
Okay. Actually, we drove a Tata Nano in 2010, June 2010, to the highest motorable road in the world, that's Khardungla Pass. And the thought came in our mind. Hi, yeah. So the thought came in our mind while Nano is a dream project of Ratan Tata, and as an Indian, we really respect Mr. Ratan Tata because he has done so much for Indian society. So we just thought of gifting him an expedition that can prove the credibility of that vehicle, and we always it's always challenging to do something different. So nobody ever thought of driving a Nano to that 18,380 feet high. So we thought of taking this challenge and doing it by ourselves. So me and one of our friends, Pankaj, we started in the month of May in 2010 for Khardungla Top. We got stuck for six days at a place called Jispa due to heavy snowfall. And then after 3 days, we reached this Khardungla Top, 18,380 feet, and become the first Indian to reach in a Tata Nano. So that becomes a Limca record.
That's nice. So, Prasad, how long is the Great Indian Expedition that you will be taking, in near future, and what is the exact date that you will be starting, and what is from where you will be starting your expedition?
The trip is going to start on the 22nd of September 2013, and we're going to start this from Delhi. It will take us, the whole journey will take around 8 to 9 months, which will also include around 3 months of transit time when we'll be shipping a vehicle firstly from Singapore to Australia by sea, which will take about a week. Then from Australia, we'll ship our vehicle to Africa, which will take around 35 days. Then from Cape Town in South Africa, we'll ship our vehicle to Buenos Aires in Argentina, which will again take around 30 days. And then finally, we'll ship our vehicle from New York to London. And there will be a final transit from Iran to Bombay. So there are 5 shipments that we'll be doing, and including these shipments, the journey will take around 9 months. Actual driving on the road will be for around 6 months. So we'll be driving for 6 months, but including transit time, the total lifetime of the journey will be 9 months.
Okay. As you were saying, you are looking forward for NRIs for accommodation or sponsorship when you are traveling. If our listeners are willing forward to give you sponsor you or meet you or be on your documentary or anything like that, where should they contact you?
Firstly, we are looking to, the journey is all about Indian people and the NRI population in different corners of the world. We want support, and we want all the Indian people living in United States and in different countries to come and help us and join us. You can find all information about our journey on our website, which is worldtrip.adventuresoverland.com. If you go on our website, you will find everything about our cause, the theme, the countries we are connecting, why we are doing it, who all are doing it. All the information is available there. We also have a form called Host Us, where you can fill in the form, and if you want us to come and stay with you or meet you or talk to you, you can fill in the form and get in touch with us. And we'll tell you when exactly we'll be in your city or in your town. And if you are interested in sponsoring us or associating with the journey, we'll be very, very happy to send you all the details about the event and get in touch with you. The journey is all Indian, and nothing will make us happier than getting the support from Indian companies and from Indian people and who would want to, call us and meet us. You can also get all details on our website, which is adventuresoverland.com. This website will also give you all the details about us, about what we have been up to, what we do, and if you like what we are doing, and if you are interested in joining us or supporting our cause or sponsoring us, then please do get in touch with us. Thank you.
So that's great. So if any travel enthusiasts want to join your trip for some part of your journey, can they do that, and if so, how?
Absolutely. Nothing would make us happier than people wanting to come and join us for a small part of the trip. They can bring their own vehicles. For example, when we are in the US, we will be putting everything on our website about our dates, which date we are going to be in which city. And if you want to join us, just once again go to our website, fill in the form, get in touch with us, tell us you want to join us, and you can join us on any on any leg in any part of the world. So, example, if you're living in the United States and you want to, let's say, travel to Kenya with us, we'll tell you when we're going to Kenya, and we'll help you plan the whole journey. And you can fly to Kenya and join us for as many days as you want. If you want to join us, let's say when you go to Alaska, you're free to come and join us there as well. We'll give you all the research work that we are doing about different terrains in different countries. We'll share that with you also, and you can come and join. You can come with your families. You can come with your friends. You can become part of the journey. And that is the whole idea. We want to connect with Indian people. We want you to come and join us and travel with us. And you can join for any number of days you want. So there's no restriction. There are no rules as such. It's flexible. It's open. It's an open event, and we invite you to come and become part of the Great Indian World Trip.
Oh, that's incredible. That's an incredible opportunity for all the travel enthusiasts across the globe. Now, so you will be, like you said, as you said, you'll be traveling for about 8 to 9 months, and it's a true adventure. And there can't be any adventure without risk. So how is your family's reaction, or how they are welcoming you with this idea, and how are they supporting you in this whole plan and trip?
Yeah, actually, this is Sanjay. Actually, our families are really supportive. We are doing this from last many years, and they know that we are like this only, and they are really happy to see us happy. So they are concerned about our safety and security, and we are also taking care of all those things. And I think insurance can protect us from the loss, but cannot stop anything and cannot stop the loss. So we are planning the whole route accordingly, and as Tushar said, we'll be not driving in night, and we'll be taking care of a few other things. And we are trying to involve the External Affairs Ministry of India to, in case we need some help and any assistance, and SOS call, we can approach them for any assistance. So we are doing our bit on part of making it a secure thing and not that risky, but risk involved in there are many life loss and deaths in bigger cities than in remote places. So it's all, we believe in destiny, and we wish that people will bless us, and we have blessing of many. So hopefully we'll do it without any loss. Yeah.
Friends, NRI Samay is a non-profit independent alternate media from Los Angeles, USA, which brings positive stories from grassroots activists from all corners of India and across the world. If you have any interesting episode you would like NRI Samay to cover, we will be happy to do so. NRI Samay would also like to encourage amateur journalists who have a flair for highlighting current events. You can be part of our citizen journalist team. You could cover an important event, interview victims of an atrocity, or document an inspirational story. The idea is to have a mix of experience throughout all parts of the world, preferably supported by an audio or a video clip of your story to be aired, which will be the curtain raiser. You can also submit your opinion articles on important topics to NRI Samay. We will be happy to put it on nrisamay.com in the opinion section. All your work will be credited only to you. And if you're interested, please send an email to nrisamay@gmail.com.
I hope and wish no such losses happen to you, and it should be a true adventure and exploring trip. And one final question for you guys, can you share with us any unforgettable or the most remembering experience you have got in your journey so far, in your self expeditions?
Hey, Yeah, the most memorable was when we went to Bhutan, and we see people so happy with their surroundings, and they are really happy with. They are like aligned with nature, and the best thing I learned from that place is I always keep on repeating that thing, that ignorance is a bliss, actually. So people there, they practice that same thing, that we are exposed to so many things, so many. We say it's a conditioning, but I think that ignorance is actually a bliss. So this is the experience I have got from Bhutan trip, that we should be not fear about perceiving things, thinking of things going bad, and thinking of so many things, and relying totally on other people experience. That some will say, if you go to this part of this, we can be careful for that thing, but we should not fear about that thing. So this is important. Or while traveling, we as Tushar said in before also, while traveling we see people living in different difficult conditions, and when we travel to these places, we feel that we are really blessed, that we have everything in life, and we should keep on enjoying our life the way we are doing it.
Yeah, this is Prasad. Even I would really, I'll be with Sanjay and what he said about the whole Bhutan trip, because even for me that was a complete eye-opener. Because we living in very urban areas talk about women's liberalization and women having equal rights, and okay, rural areas, women having treated like that. But when you just go to a country which is next to you, like Bhutan, there you knock the door at 10 o'clock at night, and there's a woman who opens it. And that woman is so enterprising over there that she is the one who handles the business. She is the one who's sitting at every cashier's counter. She is the one who makes sure that every you have been served properly. So that's what that was really amazing for me, at least, because when we talk about Bhutan, we think about people having their own traditional dresses and dancing around in their festivals, but it's much more than that. Go to the eastern part of Bhutan where nobody has ever been there. See how people live. That's what we are like very much troubled when a bus is like delayed by 5 minutes, and we start yelling about how our time is precious. People don't understand. We curse the government every now and then because we don't get facilities. But there's that nation who's really, if you say they have nothing, but what they have most is contentment of life. That's what I think I really got to learn from these days. Thanks to Tushar and Sanjay. They really took me along and just showed me this entire new world out there. It was really fun, and the best part is they're ready to share that world with you. It's not about being very restrictive about, okay, this is a restricted area, you can't shoot here, you can't take out your camera. But I think in India, I find more horrible. I think India is the most horrible when it comes to shooting culture, because everybody is so tense and no cameras here and nothing. There you just go, and as long as you respect their culture, as long as you respect their tradition and their norms, you're welcome to do anything. I think that's what the progressive society to talk about. That's what one of the signs of a progressive society. So then you start questioning about all the things that you have in your mind about being progressive and prosperous. That's what I always think. That really was even an eye-opener for me.
Do you have anything to say about this, Tushar?
Your question originally about memorable trips, memorable moments in the journey. I think whenever you go on the road and you travel, not as a tourist, but you go as a traveler, you would never come back home without some interesting stories. And I can guarantee you of that. So anybody who has gone on the road trip will always come back with some stories to share with their family and friends. Mm-hmm. For me, I've visited a lot of places, and I remember the names of the monuments I've seen or the temples I've visited, or the historical parks that you go to. I don't remember those. What I do remember are the conversations I've had with the local people, the food that I've tasted, the smells. So, those are the things that I always remember, and those are the things that I look out for when I go on journeys like these, because that's what I want to bring back home from. There's a very famous saying that if you reject the food, ignore the customs, fear the religion, and avoid the people, you might better stay at home. So, these are the experiences that you go out traveling for, and you will always come back with lots of memories which you will cherish forever whenever you go as a traveler, not as a tourist. So that's what drives us. That's what we, pushes us, and that's what we are looking out from the Great Indian World Trip also, for more memories, to meet people of different cultures who have different, very varied backgrounds, and to learn from them and to share with them. And hopefully it's going to, we're going to have some really nice, interesting stories to share, and lots of interesting experiences while we are on the journey. We were driving through Kyrgyzstan, and we were on this glacier above 18,000 feet, and we kept on driving, and it was a beautiful sight, like a sight which you can only dream of. It was completely white, and the sun was just coming out, and you could see sun cracking from behind the clouds, and all around us was nothing but white color, just snow. There was no sound, no animals, no birds, no cars. Very, very remote terrain, flat terrain, all white around you, and just little white color and little orange color of the sun. So very beautiful, dreamy sight, and we were driving, and I was thinking, wow, this is the moment that I had been dreaming for. But then, suddenly what happened? I mean, we were going through a really beautiful landscape and loving it, and it was a dream come true. But then, suddenly my car got stuck in snow. The four-wheel gear of my car broke, and the car got stuck in snow and it wouldn't come out. The car was stuck. And in one instant, that whole dreamy, beautiful, happy moment turned into a nightmare. Because now I'm thinking that, oh God, a few seconds back I was thinking that we are in this lovely remote terrain, nobody will disturb us, we have all the nature to ourselves. And now I'm thinking, oh God, there's nobody here, nobody to help us, we are all by ourselves, we are in the remote terrain, how will we get any help? But then, every problem always comes with a solution, and I strongly believe in this. We had been driving on that terrain for a few hours without seeing any truck, car, or even animals. But as soon as the car got stuck, I think within 10 minutes, a truck approached from the front. They stopped, they came out, 3 men came out, and they pulled the car out of snow, and we were again on our way. So basically, in 5 minutes, we lived, I lived the happiest part of the journey and the worst part of the journey. So the dream and the nightmare both came true together at the same time. So these kind of contrasts and these kind of moments always stay with you when you go on a journey like this. It was -10 that time in Kyrgyzstan on that glacier when we got stuck, and I remember I was sweating, standing outside the car wearing a light t-shirt, and I was hoping that, oh God, what situation we've got ourselves into, and please get us out of it. And I promise I won't be so stupid again. But I have become stupid many more times after that, and I think I'll continue to do that till I live. But yeah, you always get stuck in such situations, but the key is to remain positive, remain calm, and think of solutions rather than cribbing and thinking that, oh, I'm stuck here. So if you are positive and calm, then you'll always find a solution in such situations.
That's very true. It's like there is a saying by Danny Cave, like to say, travel is to take a journey into yourself. So it's like through all these experiences, I know you all are taking a journey into your inner self, and through your experiences, you are teaching us a lot of lessons, a lot of new things, and we on a whole are looking forward for your great expedition and the experiences you have got in the documentary. Thank you once again for being on our show. And finally, if you have any message for our listeners about your expedition or anything, please go ahead.
Can I go ahead? This is Prasad.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Go ahead. This message is not just not about this entire trip or this world trip that we are undertaking. I think this one opportunity I would like to take and just tell people from my age group, that is in their 30s, that it's okay to dream. I mean, don't be scared about your dreams, because that's what I learned from these two guys, that if you have, no matter how crazy the dream sounds to others, if it sounds right in your head, and if your head and your heart are like in conjunction with the entire dream, if they both are believing in it, just go ahead. And don't care about what happens, how it will happen. Just keep working at it. And at the same time, when I say that don't be scared about a dream, don't be reckless at the same time. Just think about all the pros and cons, but just follow your heart. You just get one life, and there's no point in just spending your entire life with all the frustrations that you have or all the negativity that you will always keep on giving others. So yeah, that's what I've learned, and that's what this entire trip is going to be like, looking at the positive side of life, celebrating life, and that's what we hope to achieve.
I've just lots of questions for you guys, but due to time constraints, we have to end the show here. It's indeed a great pleasure talking with you guys, and more than anything, it's a good learning. Thank you once again for being on NRI Samay. So friends, that's it for today. As said, the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only a page. They are not just reading it, but are also exploring at the same time and sharing their experiences with us. Learning from their experiences, I hope we are all motivated enough to turn at least a single page from that book. If you are further interested in taking part of their expedition or sponsoring them, you can visit them at adventuresoverland.com. And to listen to more such voices, stay tuned to listen to more such experiences and life stories of different people and different voices on NRI Samay. You can listen to our recorded shows on our YouTube channel, and for queries, you can visit our website nrisamay.com. Thank you. Good day.
Friends, if you liked today's show, please go to youtube.com/NRI Samay and click on the subscribe button. You will get notified every time we publish a new show. And you can also like us on our social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Google+.